Now when you're doing these tie rod ends, something that I always recommend is to do it as an assembly. You want to do this tie rod end with the outer tie rod end as well, and of course you want to make sure that you replace the sleeve. All is one assembly. Next, I want to make sure that you go ahead and spray down the sleeve area here. That's going to be very important. As you can tell, ours is pretty rusted. After you have that sprayed, let's continue on to using our measuring tape. I'm going to come right along to this end of the tie rod end, and then follow it all the way around to the other end. Take a quick measurement of that. Write it down someplace so you don't forget. Now let's go ahead and loosen these. That one's nice and loose. Do the same. Now the next thing we need to do is grab onto the sleeve, and we're going to work it back and forth to try to help work in that penetrant. We are. Now I'm just going to get this off the rest of the way. Before we go ahead and put this on the tie rod end, let's just add some copper never sees on both ends. Let's go ahead and start this on the tie rod end. Just a little bit so it starts, then we'll connect it to the other tie rod end. With it lined up, let's go ahead and turn it on. Now the reason why it's important to go ahead and put this sleeve on both tie rod ends at the same time is because you want to make sure you time your tie rods correctly. If you just screw it on all the way on one side and a little bit on the other, you might have an issue with your steering where it comes apart, and also the alignment professional is going to thank you in the long run. So now what we want to do is make sure that we measure the tie rod ends again. We remember the measurement from the original tie rod ends from one end all the way to the other. Let's make sure that the new one's the same exact length. After that, you're going to come right up here and we're going to tighten up these clamps. Now we'll torque these to 41 foot-pounds. We'll get the wheel on here, start all of our lug nuts, get it back on the ground, and then we'll torque the lug nuts to 165 foot-pounds. Torqued.